Microsoft released a brand new tool that is going to change entertainment forever. Adobe also announced their brand new AI video editing features directly in Premiere Pro. But the problem is they're not going to be available until the end of the year. Luckily for you, inside of this video, I'll show you how to reverse engineer each one of their brand new AI video features using today's technology. Meta also released a brand new creative AI assistant that is completely free, and we hosted a party for 450 people in the most iconic esports arena in the world and created a new genre of entertainment. So it's been a big week.
This is your AI film news of the week.
I want to kick things off by showing you a brand new tool that Microsoft released that has huge implications not only for entertainment, but also society at large. It's called Vasa 1. It's very similar to Emo that we demoed just a few weeks ago. Basically, you upload an image and an audio clip, and Vasa 1 will turn it into a realistic video. Now, the thing that makes Vasa 1 really unique is the fact that you actually have the ability to control and change the direction of eye movement. It also has the ability to project the same movement on different types of characters, which has huge implications not only for the future of entertainment, but also advertising. Soon in the future, you will have different types of media depending on who is actually consuming the content. It also has the ability to create animations that are non-human, but in a very realistic way. So for example, we have the Mona Lisa singing the paparazzi song. It looks pretty darn expressive and realistic. We also have this animation of this woman dressed in a Victorian outfit, and it's kind of in a digital painting style. It seems pretty darn lifelike. We also can create visuals in a Pixar 3D aesthetic, and you can see that as the character moves his head around, it looks really, really good. And finally, we have this video of this man who was a pencil drawing, and now he has come to life. Now, I should note that you also have the ability to control the 3D dynamics using this tool. So it creates a 3D representation of the character from a single image. So whenever you get into the animation process using this tool, you'll have much more control over the orientation of your character. It doesn't actually have to be completely facing the camera like some other AI tools. They actually will have that 3D movement, which is essential for telling compelling stories. Now, all of these announcements are incredible and definitely would change the way that we create animation in the future, but it gets even better. The wild part about using this tool is the fact that it actually renders in real time. So you can upload an image and upload an audio clip, and it will play back that footage in real time. Now, that has huge implications not only for the future of live action entertainment, but also for other subsections of society. For example, having the ability to talk with an AI therapist and it actually seems like a real person is talking with you. Or for example, I can't imagine that this technology is going to be used to create relationships with AI avatars and education in the future, where AI tools and avatars like this may be presenting information like I'm presenting to you right now. Now, unfortunately, this tool is not available to us just yet. Microsoft is being very intentional about the way in which they release this tool, but it really does seem that this underlying technology, when paired with traditional animation or filmmaking pipelines, is going to dramatically change the way that we create stories in the very near future. In honor of NAB 2024, the team at Adobe announced some brand new AI video tools that are coming to Premiere Pro. They're very important, so let's hop in. Now, the first thing that they announced is video in painting. Basically, inside of Premiere Pro, you'll have the ability to create a mask and then prompt in what you want to see. The cool thing is you can select whichever video model you want. In their example, they used the Adobe Firefly video example to transform a briefcase from having a few diamonds in it to having a lot of diamonds in it. Now, I think this is pretty cool, but unfortunately, you don't have access to these features inside of Premiere Pro until the end of the year. But I'm going to show you how to pull this off using tools that are available to you right now. So for our example, we have this shot of a briefcase, and let's say I want to change the contents of this briefcase. All you have to do is go over to Pika's website, that's pika.art, and you can click on the image or video button. We'll add in our video of our briefcase here and bring it inside of Pika Labs, and we will go ahead and click on the Modify Region button. Now you just simply have to select the region that you're looking to change. So I want to change most of the briefcase, so I'll select most of the briefcase there, and then I'll say a potato in a briefcase and go ahead and click Generate. Here's my generation from Pika Labs. You can see we have these beautiful potatoes in the briefcase, which are really better than diamonds. And you can see that it actually did a pretty good job. Adobe also showcased a demo of their video where they basically changed a watch face using their tool. I actually thought it looked pretty good. The lighting wasn't perfect, but it really didn't do that bad of a job. But again, you can do the same thing inside of Pika Labs. For example, we have this clip of this man wearing a watch. We'll go ahead and grab that video and drop it into Pika Labs and go to Modify Region. And you can just simply select the region that you want to change. I just want to change the watch face here, so I'll make the region about there. And I'll just say a fancy watch and go ahead and click Generate. So after a few seconds, we have this video of this watch here. Now, I should note that I don't think the fidelity of the result from Pika Labs is quite as good as the one from Adobe Firefly Video, but if you're in a pinch and you need to do some video in painting, Pika is the way to go. Now I want to show you one last example here. So inside of the Adobe demo, they had this man wearing a suit, and now he's wearing a tie. Okay, that's interesting. I actually think we can do the exact same thing. So we have this video of this man who is in the desert and just living his best life. I think he should be wearing a tie, so let's go ahead and make the change. All we have to do is drag and drop him into Pika Labs, and we will go to Modify Region. We'll move that region to make it right over where the tie should be, like that. And we will say a business tie, and go ahead and click Generate. And after a few seconds, we have the video of the man, and he is now wearing a tie. Adobe also announced a brand new object removal tool that also pairs with a content aware feature that allows it to detect objects that you can remove from your footage. It's basically like automatic rotoscoping. It looks really, really powerful. I love the demo that they show. Basically, they select an object, they remove it, and it removes it from the wall. Now, the example isn't 100% perfect. It does seem like the beveling on the brick does get a little soft where the object was removed, but especially at a quick glance, unless you were really looking for that problem, I don't think it would be really noticeable for the average viewer. Now, you don't have to wait until this tool is available. You can actually do the exact same thing inside of Runway. Just go to the Runway website, go to Login, and go to Edit Videos, then select In Painting. Then all you have to do is drag and drop your footage into the timeline here. I have this video here of this person walking in a garage. So simply grab your footage and drop it inside of Runway. And then once you've imported it, you can simply grab the footage and then drop it in the middle here to add it to your timeline. And now we can adjust our brush size and just select things that we want to get rid of. So I want to get rid of this sign over here, click and let go. And then after just a few seconds, it gets rid of it, which is so wild to me. We also can select the arrows on the ground here, deselect, and then it just gets rid of it. And then you can play it back. And the wild thing is the preview is basically in real time. And if there's any weird parts, you can see there towards the end, there's kind of some weird parts. Again, you can just paint out frame here. It'll think about it and then it removes it just like that. It does an amazing job. It's almost in complete real time and it looks really good. Once you're ready to export, simply go to the export button. You can export it in up to 4K, in ProRes, image sequence, or MP4. It's completely up to you. And now side by side, we can watch both of these videos. You can see in the original, we have our sign, we have the arrow on the ground. And in the runway version, we have removed our objects. It was super easy to pull this off. Adobe also announced generative expand, basically having the ability to extend the length of a clip inside of Premiere Pro using artificial intelligence. It's pretty amazing. They have some examples over on their website. Basically, you have the ability to not only expand your video clip, but also select the AI model that you want to use to expand the actual clip itself. Now, I thought their demo was cool, but I wanted to see how the live action footage integrated with the AI video at the end. Did it make it feel like a cohesive clip? And so I put them together, and this was the result. So this is the original clip, and you can see that when it cuts to the AI video, it actually becomes really static and it has this slow push in. It's really interesting. In fact, it kind of feels like Pika Labs. Whenever you upload an image to Pika Labs, it usually almost always does that kind of slow zoom in effect. So I actually don't think that in this example, it did a very good job. But you can actually extend the length of a clip using currently available AI tools. Let me show you how to do it. So I have this video clip here of this woman looking at the camera. Nothing too fancy, just a pretty normal clip here. Now, all I'm going to do is go one frame back from the very last frame and go ahead and click on the export frame button inside of Premiere Pro. This works in any video editing application, so you don't necessarily have to use Premiere Pro. You could use DaVinci Resolve or anything else that you like to use, and go ahead and save the image. So this is our image result. Now let's hop over to Runway. When you're inside of Runway, just go down to Image to Video, and simply drag and drop your image. Now, of course, you can go in and prompt the scene if you want to see a specific movement. I'm not going to do any prompting here, and I'm actually going to change the overall movement to about 3, and then go ahead and click Generate. So this is the clip that we have from Runway, and I should note that when you compare and contrast this to the original shot, it actually looks pretty darn realistic. So let's go ahead and extend our clip. So let's hop back over to Adobe Premiere. And all we have to do is drag and drop the video footage into our timeline. So all you have to do is drag and drop your footage from Runway to the end of the original video. And if we play this back, we have our original video, and then it cuts to the Runway footage. Now you can go in and customize the color grade to help it really match. But for a really quick fix, if you need to extend the length of a clip, this seems like your best option until the Premiere Pro feature drops later this year. Now, Adobe had a few other examples of this generative extend model. One was this shot of this car that basically was driving, and then they extended the clip. And what I really didn't like about this example is they paused it for a second and then played it, because I was like, does that actually create a smooth movement, or does it look weird? And so I took out the middle fluff to create a synced video clip, and here is the result. So you can see it plays, and it's actually pretty smooth. It actually did inherit some of the camera movement, and I wasn't expecting that. Now, is this perfect? Of course not, especially if you begin to zoom in on some of the signs inside of that garage. You can see they just turn into mashed potatoes there. So it's not perfect. I don't know if this tool is going to be silver screen ready by the time it launches, but for some online concepts, or if you're really in a pinch, it does seem like this tool could potentially be useful. Now, this tool does look like it may have some issues. For example, in the Adobe demo, they have this video of this man walking down a hallway, and I actually thought it was a little weird. I thought it was a video editing mistake, because they actually darkened the frame that was extended and not the image at the bottom. And they made it seem like the image at the bottom was the extended scene and not the video above. It felt like it was out of order. But then I removed that middle stutter and tried to create a video that played back seamlessly. And I discovered that they may be trying to cover up something here, because if you zoom in on the briefcase at the exact moment where it switches to the generative expand video, the briefcase completely changes. You can see it went from having a shadow and light on one side to just being like a gray square. His legs basically change the orientation, and it just kind of looks much more different. So I'm not sure if that was a video editing mistake or if they're actually trying to use a dark filter to cover up the issue there, but it does seem like this tool is far from perfect. And the final announcement inside of this Premiere Pro update is the addition of generative AI video directly in Premiere Pro. This is going to save so much time in the creative process. Having the ability to quickly create a shot or a detail shot to help you tell your overall story is going to be a very powerful tool. Now, the really interesting thing is they're opening up their API to allow other tech companies to have access. So for example, they can generate Sora videos directly in Premiere Pro, or if you want to use Runway or Pika, you can generate those directly in Premiere. Again, this is really just opening up the opportunity to have those AI models in Premiere Pro. This announcement does not guarantee that we actually will have Sora inside of Premiere. Now, they have a quick example inside of their video where they basically showcased the possibility of generating a Sora video and then editing it with live action footage. And it was kind of weird because when I saw the live action footage and then I saw the Sora video, it felt like it lived in a very different world. And then they also showcased a Runway video that also felt like it lived in a different world. So I went ahead and edited all of those videos together to see if it made it feel like the film was cohesive. And here's the result. We can see the man looks out and then it cuts to the wide shot, and the wide shot felt like a video game cinematic, and then the shot of the person driving didn't look super realistic. It's also very dark and kind of hard to tell what is going on. So generally speaking, I would say that I'm a little skeptical about this workflow because you don't currently have the ability to add in stylization. So again, all of these features are not currently available. In most cases, I would say you are much better off using third-party tools and your own creativity to create cohesive films at this time. I'd also like to extend a huge thank you to the 450 people who attended our AI creativity tournament in Las Vegas. It was absolutely amazing to see the competitors competing at the HyperX Arena. And I'd like to extend a huge congratulations to Jagger for winning the Apple Vision Pro, but more specifically, the custom crocheted trophy from Curious Refuge. A big thanks to Tim at Theoretically Media and Dave Clark for agreeing to be judges for the competition. We would love to do more competitions like this in the near future. And there's also been some chatter about developing an AI creative esports league, so we will give you more information as that develops. And I'd also like to thank everyone who traveled from all around the world to attend some of our panels at NAB. It was really fun to share our vision for a democratized creative future with incredible people from the industry. Meta also released their ChatGPT competitor this week completely for free, and I gotta say, it's really impressive. Now, it is integrated inside of the Meta suite, so inside of Instagram and Facebook and WhatsApp, but it's also in a desktop application that you can use. Just go to meta.ai. Now, the tool is really simple to use. It's very similar to ChatGPT. All you have to do is ask a question and the answers will appear really quickly. Now, the cool thing is it actually integrates with the news and Google search, so the results are really up to date. So for example, we can say, what's the news today? And go ahead and click enter. And in just a few seconds, it will list out the news from today. They also have the ability to generate real-time images using the tool. Just go to the Imagine with Meta AI button. And basically, if you just type in the word imagine and then start to type, it will create images in real time. So we'll say a guy in Las Vegas at the Luxor playing a video game. So there we go. We have a guy basically at a slot machine at the Luxor. And if you want to get images that are even better, go ahead and click enter, and it will actually use their AI image model to produce images that are even better. And so there you go. We have this guy playing video games outside of the arena. Now, is this as good as Midjourney? No, it is not. but the fact that this is available to everyone who uses Meta's tools is really interesting. It's not as niche, it actually is much more mainstream now. Now, you may be wondering how creative this tool is. Well, it's actually about as creative as ChatGPT 3.5, not as good as 4 at this point. So basically, we can ask it anything we want. So I'll say create 10 movie ideas and go ahead and click enter. And you can see that in real time, it's creating these ideas. So it's really, really fast. There's almost no latency when it comes to most text-based questions. I was really curious to see how this compared to ChatGPT. So I went to ChatGPT and asked it to create 10 ideas as well, and it gave me a few ideas. And then I basically copied and pasted both Meta's ideas and ChatGPT's ideas to a document. And inside of this document, I took Meta's ideas and I just changed the name to Manny. And I took ChatGPT's ideas and just said Greg's ideas. And then I took the document and uploaded it to ChatGPT. So when I asked ChatGPT to tell me which ideas were more derivative, it actually said that the ChatGPT ideas were worse than the Meta ideas. Now, if you actually look at that document, and I'll share a link below this video, you can see that really in most cases, the ChatGPT ideas are much more creative. So I will say that as a professional creative assistant, ChatGPT is your best option. But for free options, Meta is the best out there. The other cool thing about using Meta's AI tool is the fact that you have the ability to have a multimodal experience. So you can have conversations and it can generate artwork. So for example, we can say create an image for idea number 7 and go ahead and click generate. And you can see that it's beginning to visualize ideas for that film. You know, kind of a grungy film aesthetic. Looks okay, it's not hyper realistic, but it is cool to envision the idea of having a creative partner to go back and forth with. And you'll also see that anytime you generate an image, you also have the ability to animate it. So we'll go ahead and click the animate button on this video. And you can see that it animated the images here and it animated all of them. You know, the movements, they're okay. It's not great. This isn't runway quality videos at this point, but you know, they do look pretty interesting. Some researchers this last week also came out with the ability to turn any video into a video game. It's really interesting. Basically, it will convert any video into a Nerf scanned environment, and then you have the ability to play a few different games based on the scan. Basically, you upload a video, it scans the environment and turns it into a video game. Now they have a few different examples of video games. So for example, you can be a character that runs around and kicks a ball, or maybe you want to knock objects over. There's also a racing game and another game where it's basically like Mario Kart and you have to collect coins. They also have a game where basically it converts the video into a 3D scan and allows you to interact with the objects inside of the room. So it's pretty cool because you can go in and move objects around and create a little claw game in a virtual environment. And that brings us to our AI films of the week. Our first film this week is called AI-mee, and basically it is a 1950s TV show style aesthetic that uses Dr. Seuss rhyming to tell the story of a robot and how it looked to have a heart. It's super weird. I love the aesthetic, but I should also note that it's a little sad, so you have been warned. Our next film is called The Fliffatroo by The Real Robot. Basically, it is an AI documentary that follows the Fliffatroos in their life. I think that the creator did a good job at working around some of the limitations with AI, and they basically created this puffball animal that can be replicated again and again. Our final film of the week comes from PZF AI that basically put together a very realistic AI project, and many of the shots look pretty darn convincing. The sound design really helps to sell it, but it feels like a live action film. Now, there are some static shots, but generally speaking, I'd say they did a really good job. Thank you so much for watching this episode of AI Film News. Again, thank you so much to everyone who made it out to the Vegas event. It was absolutely incredible. Of course, you can always subscribe here on YouTube to get the latest AI tutorials and news directly here on the platform. And you can subscribe over on curiousrefuge.com to get AI film news delivered directly to your inbox. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode. Of course, you can check out our website if you want to learn more about the future of filmmaking. You're an awesome member of this community. We'll see you in the next one.